fuck, man? That's so fucking annoying. Time to switch to home server? I'm not gonna do home server. If I ever switch from a server, it will be like another paid server, a virtual server. Doing home server is like, okay, so if you have a problem, if you're outside and there's an issue with your home server, you can't do anything about it. You just have to go home. You know, you can't fix it. I'd rather just pay someone to be able to fix it outside. Yeah, I mean, if I do, I'll switch to whatever. I'll probably use Toolkit. That's the second one that seems pretty good. Dude, fuck, man. I can't even connect to it. Please wait until your contact accepts your request. The fuck? There we go. What is the issue? There was like no fucking... Oh, man. There was like... There's no error code or anything. Stupid. Fucking crashing and shit. So whack. Fuck. I'm getting... That shit is making me mad. Alright, let's see how we can get this to work. It's supposed to be on track 1. Menu. Let's see how we can get this to work. Phantom power. On. All. On. Test, test, test. Eh? Hello, hello. I don't have... Oh, I have to press the button, I think. Hello, hello. Ooh, wow. Damn. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Ooh, shit. The audio quality on this is super crispy. Super crispy. Okay. Let me plug this in to the back of the camera. Okay. Look at that. This thing sounds amazing. This is a great microphone. This is a very expensive $500 microphone. Yo, Ike Agnew. Damn, long time no see. Ike Agnew's in the chat? What the hell? Ike Agnew. I hope you're doing well. Why does this keep buffering? I think the gain is kind of high, right? Oh shit, I turned the gain up. There we go. I'm turning the gain down. Maybe that sounds a little bit better. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Now there's a buzzing sound. Why does it sound so weird? I'm gonna turn it. Not like 1. I think there is a ground loop. There might be a ground loop. Let me see if I can get a. Alright, how about now? Holy shit, the gain is super low. The gain is on like 2. I'm trying to reduce the gain a little bit, see if I can get this down to a reasonable level. There is a kind of noise though. I'm not sure where the noise is coming from. But this is like the best I could do. Still lots of hiss. Yeah, there is a lot of hiss. I'm not really sure why there's a lot of hiss. I put a ground loop isolator. I don't think it's... Maybe I should put a minus 20 dB. And then I'll turn up the gain a little bit. Hello, hello. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Wow, I'm like at level 3. This does not sound very good. Alright, maybe doing this is not a good idea. What if I put it to the headphone jack as opposed to the line out? Do you think that'll sound a little bit better? Let's try that. Is this better at all? Oh, no, it's the same thing. What if it's the cable? This sucks. Okay, hold on. Let me unplug this. Okay, this microphone situation is not really working out very well. I wonder if it's the cable, perhaps. This should be a pretty good cable though. It's like it has plastic coating on it and stuff. I don't know if that means anything. Let me try one more cable to see if it was a cable issue. It might be a cable issue. Let me try one more. One more cable. Because this is a pretty expensive recorder. Where was that cable? Oh, it wasn't in this one. I'm gonna fall asleep with the white noise. There's no white noise now, right? Is it okay now? There's no microphones plugged into it, so there shouldn't be any kind of weird sounds or anything like that. At least I don't think so. Let's try this one. This is a brand new aux cable, but this is like a really cheap, crappy aux cable. So I wonder. I want to say that it might be because of the aux cable. This is a cheap one too. Look at how cheap this shit is. The other one is way more high quality than this cable, but the other one's probably gone through some shit. Okay, so I'll plug this into the back and we'll see if this works again. So keep your ears protected. Plugging it in one more time. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Is there a shit ton of hiss and stuff? How is this? Does it sound any better? Holy shit. This sucks too. Alright, fuck this. This is even worse. Because now the wireless interference is getting in the way. Alright, we're just not gonna use these microphones that I have. That I spent hella money on. I'll just we'll just run with the regular in-body microphone. Yeah, I don't know why there's a lot of sound, or there's a lot of noise. Alright, whatever. No big deal. I thought it would just make for some kind of funny content. Where we put a microphone up to the bed to measure how noisy the squeaks are. But I guess we don't need all that shit. Okay. So, if you guys are just joining me right now, this is twitch.tv/JohnSF. I am going to basically test how okay, hold on. Let me rephrase this. I have a bed here that makes a lot of squeaking sounds. So I'll show you what happens when it squeaks. And maybe you guys could hear it a little bit. Right? So, if I move, it makes squeak sounds. You guys can hear it. So we're going to do a squeak test. This is the squeak test. We'll do roll around. We'll also do lateral squeaking sounds. And we'll do horizontal squeaking sounds. And then we'll do up and down squeaking sounds. How about that? You guys hear all that squeaking? There's a lot of squeaking. So what we want to do is we want to remove the squeakiness of it. So that was the squeaky test. And I'm going to make a TikTok video. So let's make a TikTok really quick. And we're going to do a before and after. So here we go. I want to try it again. I need to record it first. Maybe I need my phone thing. What if I use this microphone? Do you think this microphone would be a little bit better? Let's try this one. I want to try this one. Let's see if this microphone will be a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to plug in this microphone. Here we go. Okay, this is the Rode Video Mic Micro. Oh, this microphone actually sounds really good. Not a lot of hiss and noise. Perfect. Perfect. This is gonna work. Okay, this will totally work. Let me see if I can mount this. I'm gonna mount this to a C-stand or something, like a boom pole, and we're gonna put the microphone downwards. Alright. I'm gonna set up a C-stand in my bedroom. It's not often that I do this. Whoa! I'll show you guys what it's like to set up a C-stand. First of all, you loosen the legs out and you twist them and they kind of snap into place like that. You put them down, tighten it up, and then we're going to bring out this guy from when we used it last time. Whoops. This guy. I have a extending boom pole. Oof. And then now we're going to be able to test scientifically how noisy this bed is. I wish I had one of those like decibel things. Oh, do we have one of those? Is there an app that I could use? Is there like an app that I can use that can test the decibels or whatever? Can your neighbors hear the squeaking? I don't know. It's not like I asked them if they can hear that. It's not like, hey guys, did you guys hear any squeaking last night? Let me know. It's not like I asked them. But I can hear sometimes. I can hear the upstairs when they walk around, and sometimes when their phone rings. I can't hear them talk or anything, but occasionally I can hear them. Damn it. Fuck. I'm stuck. Alright, do I own anything that will allow me to mount this microphone onto here? Maybe this will work. Here we go. And then I can screw this into here. And then we can screw this into here. So now we have this miniature boom microphone setup. This is for science. And then I'm going to measure the decibel output. Let's split the audio. I should have an audio splitter. One that can go into my here. Hold on, let's see. I have there should be an app, right? Let's see. Sound measuring app in decibels. Sound meter, noise detector, and decibel. Here we go. Install. That's better. Are we going to do a stain test next? We've already done the stain thing. We've already done it. It's been done. Do I have a splitter? I should have a aux splitter. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Where is this guy? So I'm gonna put the mic down here. I'm gonna plug this into here. Alright, this is a really complicated setup. Basically what I did is I have the boom microphone here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to split the audio, one going into the camera and the other going into the phone, so that we can measure the decibels of this. Actually, I'm going to do it off of this one. Sound measuring app. This one has 10 million downloads. Okay. It looks like a porn set. I hope this works. Alright. Let's see if this works. I'm going to open the sound app. Allow sound meter to record audio. Okay. So, check this out. Before I plug in the microphone, I'm going to explain this setup. So right now, this is for science and for content. Let me move this camera over here. I have on a C-stand a boom microphone connected to this app, and this is showing off how loud things are. So right now, I think let's see if it works if I tap on the microphone. Is it getting the audio from here? I don't know if it's actually getting the audio from the microphone or not. Let me plug in the I'm gonna plug in my earphones. See if this works. I have a splitter right here. One is going into my phone. One is going into this headset. And the last one I'm going to put into this camera so that you guys could see, you guys could actually hear direct what I'm hearing. Hello. Testing 1 2. Okay, hello. Testing 1 2. I actually don't hear anything. Hello. I don't hear anything. Is this... Hello, testing 1 2. Yo. Hello. Wait, I don't know if it's picking up from the microphone or not. It's not. Is it because this thing is not splitting it? Yeah, it's not working. And my dang chat's not connected. Huh. I gotta sign in. What's my password? I don't know what my password is for Twitch. Does this happen to you guys where your dang chat login expires after a while? Fuck. Maybe I won't use dang chat. So I don't hear anything in my headset, and I'm not sure why. That bed has many stories to tell. John has no girls, Sag. Force him to do solo film. Where's the girl at? Yeah, there's no girls in here. I am starting to sweat though. It's getting hot. It's getting very hot. I don't hear anything from this. I wonder why. Let me see. If I plug this in, should I be able to hear any sound? I don't hear anything. Hello. I don't hear anything. Maybe the splitter situation might not work the way I expected it to work. Performance of the microphone will be different for each device, so calibration is needed. Hello, test it. Hello, testing. Hello, testing. Okay, apparently this is working. It doesn't work. Let me try this again. Okay, hold on. Let me try one more time. I'm gonna plug this into here. I'm gonna plug this into here. And then I'm gonna plug this to here. And this into here. I'm gonna plug this into the camera. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear from this, the microphone. But there might not be sound. We'll try. Testing. Hello? Testing. Oh, it's really low. And there's like a buzzing sound, right? Damn. That sounds so shitty. Okay, let me try this directly connected from the microphone. Yikes. How's that? Yikes. How's that? That sounds a lot better, right? Yikes. How's that? Okay, so I don't know how to make it so that this setup will work. But whatever. We'll just do it like this. Fuck it. Fuck it. Cause I wanted the meter to also be able to have the same levels as the microphone that you guys are hearing too at the same time, but I don't think it'll work like that. So we'll just have it like this. No big deal. Okay. Let me refocus this. But you guys are listening to me through the microphone that's pointed at the bed right now. So we have bed ASMR. I'm laying on my bed and I'm speaking directly at the microphone. Okay. So, as a reference, just me speaking normally, we are at 65 decibels. Without speaking, it's about 20 decibels. I can show you guys. let me point this down a little bit more. Okay, how's that? So when you're getting naked, this is the new meta. Yeah, this is the new meta on Twitch. This is the in the bed ASMR meta. Let me see if I could. Okay, here we go. All right. Can you guys hear that sound? So that sound was my upstairs neighbors. You can hear them. They were like moving their whatever that thing is, the door to the, what is that thing called? The closet. That was the closet door. How am I gonna display the... How am I gonna display this? Oh, wait, I have an idea. Okay, hold on. Okay. I hope this will show on the stream. Are you guys able to see the meter here? Does this show? Oh. What happened? Alright, does this show on the stream? Can you guys see that? The decibel meter right here? Can you guys see this? Should I make this a little bit closer? Let me make this a little bit closer. I wish I could make this a little bit bigger. You can't really see it that well. Okay. Yes, you can see it? Alright, good. Jesus. This is so weird. Okay. So, Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sound test of how squeaky my bed is. The way I have this set up is that I have the Rode Video Micro on a boom pole pointed downward at my bed. My bed is a foam queen size mattress on top of a riser that has wait, what is it? A riser? It's like a, it's a not a box spring. It's a bed frame. My bed is on a bed frame that is on a riser, and this is how it sounds if I'm just laying on it normally, and this is how it sounds if I do a rolling test. Commencing rolling test. Okay. Finishing rolling test. What's the word for finishing rolling test? Not, you don't say finishing rolling test. What's the opposite of commencing? Yo, Con, what's up? Jonathan's doing porn now? No, this is a squeaky bed test. Ceasing? Okay, there you go. Ceasing test. Okay, now this is the lateral movement test going north-south. This is the north-south. North being the head of the bed to the feet, north-south lateral movement test commencing now. Oh, and what was the levels? Did you guys see the levels? What was the level at? I don't know what the level was at. Anyways, this is the test. Lateral movement squeaking test. How was that? Ceasing lateral squeaking movement test. How many decibels? 69 decibels? Yo, Colin, what's up? Are you shooting porno but testing on Twitch? No, I'm not. I'm just making, I want to not make my bed squeaky. Concluding. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Concluding. Commencing and concluding. That's the word. Okay. We're going to do the lateral east-west test. All right, ready? This is the east-west lateral movement sound test. What was the decibels for the north-south test? What was the decibels? Can someone tell me? I can't see the decibels on my end. Whatever the decibels were. Nobody's gonna tell me? Alright, so someone pay attention to the levels right here. This is the sound levels. I'm gonna do the east-west test right now. That wasn't that loud, right? I didn't see. Just have actors wear the mic gear. I need like a second person to tell me how much the levels are. It peaked at 50 dB. Okay, commencing. Let's do it again. Commencing east-west test right now. Concluding east-west test. It was like 35 average. 44. Okay. And then the very last test is the like not horizontal, vertical movement of the bed test. Okay, this is probably the loudest, I want to say. Commencing vertical movement test. Oh wait, I think I should read the other side. Alright, this is the vertical test. Here we go. Okay. Concluding test. How was the decibels? $51. It was at 51. High of 59, average of 50, 51 to 57. Okay. So this is how it is before. This is the volume level before we add what is going to be Squeak's Gone. So this is a all-purpose lubricant. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take the bed off of the frame. We're going to unscrew the entire bed, and I'm going to add this lubricant, which is this all-purpose lubricant called Squeak's Gone, specifically for removing squeaks in a bed. So, and then we're going to redo the test. I don't want to do a TikTok of this. Let me do a TikTok really quick. Let me try this TikTok. Will that all-purpose lubricant work to keep my GF quiet? I don't know, man. Yeah, we're talking about lube. Talking about lube. Or lubing it. Okay. Alright, let me see if I can do this TikTok really quick. I'm gonna do a example for TikTok. Here we go. So my bed is pretty squeaky, and I bought this Squeak's Gone lubricant that will hopefully make the bed less squeaky. And by squeaky, I'll show you what I mean. So I have a meter right here that measures the volume. So I'm gonna make some squeaky sounds like this. Romantic. So the bed squeak level is, you saw, about like 30, 40-ish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it apart and we're gonna apply this lube. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take this bed apart. Do you guys want to be left on this microphone that's pointing at the bed? The longest TikTok ever. I'll edit it. I just need the footage. Let me unplug the microphone for now. We'll just use the onboard microphone. Okay. Let's play some music, and then we'll get to the disassembling of the bed. And let me turn on the air conditioning. It's fucking hot.
Taxi drivers are certified. Nice one.
When was the last time you changed your sheets? Maybe like more than a month ago. I do need to wash these sheets. I'll be honest with you. I do need to wash it.
Diego and David on the roof.
But it was more than a month ago since I washed it, yeah. I'm very lazy when it comes to washing the sheets. You'll get more views with different angles on the tube site. Oh, there is a Velcro. So this might be kind of difficult to take off. Oh! I almost knocked over my lamp. That's pretty big. It is queen size. And I do have stuff underneath my bed too. Let's move this over here.
Yes, George, how you doing? I'm good, thanks. Did this George fell over on the bike on Sunday? On camera.
It's probably messy. I'm a little afraid of what's going to be underneath this bed. Hopefully nothing incriminating. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Alright, alright, alright. Okay. Alright. Sheesh. Oh, I got a few follows. Work on it from TV and Moji Kongjunim Man Burnida. Thanks for the follows. Eat dinner with the decibel meter? Did you eat the internet? No, I had a sandwich. Forever Noob, what's up? Film the lube application for the TikTok? I will, yeah. So I need to get like something to pull these screws out.
It's a half Ferguson in from Germany. I'm a bit more settled now. My stomach was like turning over.
I hope these screwdrivers are good enough. Is that a used condom at the bottom of the floor? I don't see any used condoms. This is the bag that the lube was in. What part of the bed squeaks? It's the bed frame. So you guys can see this. Alright, here, let me record this for TikTok. Where's my phone? Here it is.
Anybody knows anyone in London that 420? Maybe should have tagged them. Right there.
So I took off the bed frame. I took off the bed from the bed frame, and it's basically this bed frame that squeaks. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these screws and then apply the lube to it. You can hear it like this. It's very noisy. Okay. So I'm not 100% sure how to apply the lube, because I don't have any like brush or anything like that. Usually that's how you apply lube to key switches for your keyboard, but I reckon I could just use maybe like a napkin or something. I have a napkin over here, and I'll just lube up the screws. So this is how we're gonna do it. Pull you guys out so you guys can see. We'll start on this corner. And we're gonna go from corner to corner. Each corner has about 4 screws. Grab the... How much week do you have to smoke to come up with this content? This is just like, yo, my bed's noisy. It's not, I didn't really have to think of it. Oh, I can't use a screw. I need a hex key. Hold on, let me get a hex key. It's not really like content. This is just like, you know, I had something to do, and I figured people might learn something out of it. It might be kind of funny, so I feel like this is better than going out and spending money on food and looking at some bullshit buildings that nobody really gives a fuck about. There we go. So, do this. Oh! Vaseline on the joint stand. Viral TikTok content. Hell yeah. So, you know that the content that like people, the things that go viral on TikTok is like, it makes people want to say a comment about it and make like oh hey the guy's been having sex too much or something like that. so I figured this would be pretty good. So we're gonna take off this screw, and there are two of them, and they are pretty loose. So there's two things that we need to do basically. We need to lube the screws, and we need to make it tighter. So let me see. Where is here? So I'm gonna put this lube on. Teaching life skills. Yeah, I hope that you guys can learn something through my experiences. I feel like this is more meaningful than just going out and doing like making an ass of myself in public. Okay, let's see. Alright, so there's two things we basically need to do. We need to tighten the screws, and we need to lube them. Sorry, I should have said that the other way. There's two things we need to do. Basically is we need to lube the screws, and then we need to re-tighten them into the frame. There we go. Okay. TikTok is literally Zoomer drama. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff that you can learn on TikTok. I've learned more stuff on TikTok than I've ever learned on Twitch. You don't learn shit on Twitch. That's why. Okay, when I was streaming with Hot Chubby, she asked me like, "What do you like? Do you like TikTok?" Or she's like, "Are you on TikTok?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Are you on TikTok?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm streamer." And I was like, "Actually, I like TikTok better than Twitch." And she was like offended. Oh, you know what? What if I lube the joints too? The like conjoinment of these. Can I lube these up as well? I have to take out the other side too. If I lube the conjoinment of this, or whatever this is called, the like this one, so this part can have some lubrication, so there's no back and forth friction. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's take apart this one. The reason why I like TikTok more than Twitch is because I feel like TikTok is more meaningful content. Short form is so like... Short form content is like so underrated, in my opinion. Like, I don't mean to offend anyone, especially because I'm a Twitch streamer too, and I'm supposed to be representing for Twitch, but like... TikTok is so easy to just watch and learn something. This is the full unedited form, probably the long form content. What if you just want to get to the end? You know, okay, I want to talk about this actually. So I heard that I mentioned this the other day about TikTok. You know how like the internet is so on demand and it's so fast paced. I feel like the internet information travels so fast these days that like people and kids are growing up at such a fast pace. Like they just know shit at such a young age, you know. It's kind of scary. Because, like, when I was young, I couldn't even swear. And I was like, I had a weird feeling when if I heard someone swear, or even if I said anything bad. But kids these days, they're so young and they're like, they just hear swear words all the time on the internet. Language is like uncensored. So I feel like kids are growing up so differently. Do I have to take this out? Alright, I'll tell you guys what I'm doing. I feel like I have to take this off. Sorry, I'm not really reading the comments. I'll try to catch up with the comments in a second. But anyways, yeah, information travels so fast now compared to when we were growing up. So like I don't know if people are becoming smarter or if they're becoming dumber because they're like more lazy to find out stuff on their own. You know what I mean? Because the information is so widely available now. Okay, can I pull this apart? I did that just so I can kind of remove this. And it's really dirty too. Okay. Let me try to come back. What about Snapchat? I think Snapchat's a pretty crappy platform. Short form is awful, says Forever Noob. It's all BS. That's not true. I've learned so much in short form. Like there's so much educational short form content on TikTok. It's really good. It's so dirty. Yikes. This bed doesn't seem sturdy. It's not that sturdy. It really isn't. Twitch is also meaningful, but you have to pick better. TikTok picks for you and getting the end. The problem with a lot of topics is that you don't understand the middle story. You miss the connections. That's true. But I feel like the thing about Twitch and long form versus the short form of TikTok, like that's 100% true. But I feel like for Twitch, being a viewer on Twitch is like you have to be engaged in order to be interested in the middle part. Like, yeah, you miss the middle part in short form, but in order to even experience the short form, you have to be like engaged enough. And that's depending on how good the streamer is, if they're engaging enough for people to want to watch the short form. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this lube to this bracket right here. We're going to lube it up. I wonder if is this only no smell, fumes, no aerosol, no worries? Doors, windows, hinges, locks, drawers, gates. You can't use this as personal lube. So I'm going to put the lube here at this connector. I'm going to use this napkin to kind of lube it up. I'm going to spit on it too. I'm just kidding. It's called Scissors of Opportunity. Creates more dumb but also smart. Yeah, right. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic when it comes to the speed of the internet. And also, like, the internet has so much information on us as people. Like, the machines are learning. Definitely dumber. All the shit the kids watch, these dancers and other garbage content. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of garbage content, but, you know, I believe that eventually, you know, people are not going to be led by garbage content forever. You know, eventually you're going to be like, you know, this is just dancing. Although you like it for a while, I do feel like eventually people are going to grow out of it. and they're gonna want to get into something that's more interesting. So it's very interesting. So now I lubed it up. I'm going to stick it in, and we're gonna make it tight. How many times have you heard that in a bedroom? All those kids were part of the halftime show at the NBA All-Star. Is that because of, what's her name? Charlie D'Amelio or whatever? The Renegade? Dude, this hex key is too long. It's an Allen wrench. Okay, so now that we lubed it up, we're gonna make it tight. Hopefully this won't move around too much, and we would have reduced the squeakiness. And then we have to do this 4 more times. See how it works. But yeah, anyways, I for one am a fan of TikTok. I like TikTok. And as a streamer, you put a lot of work and time into streaming, and you don't really get that much out of it, whereas TikTok is like you just put in 15 minutes and then you get like, I got like 1,200 followers off of one 15-minute TikTok that I did. Alright, it's not wiggling as much, which is pretty good. And then I lubed up the screws as well. And then I also tightened it. So we'll see if this kind of fixes anything. Hey, thank you for the follow, Weird Mesh. You like it because you get views for nothing? I mean, I like it for many reasons. That's one of the reasons that I like it for. I like it for many reasons though. I honestly cannot recall a time that I really learned something on Twitch. Not that there aren't many like educational. I feel like in general there's not that much educational stuff. I mean, there does exist educational stuff on Twitch, but that's not the meta on Twitch, you know? The meta on Twitch is playing some games and fucking, you know, booba and stuff. And Papega content. Like, the meta on TikTok is also Papega content too. And booba. But there does exist the non-booba stuff. Oh, wired, not weird. Sorry, I read it wrong. That's not good for content makers to care more about the views than the content. No, but the content that does well still is really good. Like, the content on TikTok is good content. Rare TikToks are actually creative. Reminds me of the good Vines back in the day. Yeah, that's true. There are some pretty good Vine content. I'm gonna lube up this little connector thing. I mean, okay, so I'm not like trying to like hate and make a divisive decision between TikTok and Twitch, because honestly they're different forms of media, and the whole point of Twitch is the engagement and that the fact that it's live. But I think it's harder to make and find and make meaningful live stream content. Alright, we're gonna lube this. Okay, let's see if we can screw this in. Oh shit. You learn the most from Billy Bob on YouTube. One can learn a lot from stories. There's one of the best TikToks that I follow is this guy who talks mostly about like the zoning laws in California and just in the US, and how cars are like how our country is basically based off of how cars are, and how cars make it so that there's like racism and zoning and ghettos and stuff like that. And like it would be more sustainable if we were like have better public transportation and people were using the more what's the word? The cars that are EV cars and stuff. This is very interesting. Bella Porch installed TikTok, and first vid she saw was a physio hikle / motivational one, and that's why she is where she is today. Fuck cars. She used to be abused by parents basically, so that's why she went to the military. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't really know anything about Bella Porch, but I know hella people hate on her because she has like, she got popular for just like moving her face and shit and doing dances. Everyone's like, fuck Bella Porch. It'll be a lesson to you. Everyone's gonna hate you for something. But don't hate the player, man. Hate the game. Okay, let's hope that this kind of makes it a little bit less squeaky. This is missing a screw on this side. Okay, so I added the lube. Let's put a little, let's just add some general lube on the outside of this. I don't know, maybe I should have put that in a little bit better. Alright, that's that. Now we have two more sides. How am I going to get to this one? Figuring out how to do this is already like a tricky task. Or like how to record this. And working around all of these things too. Oh, my slipper fell off. What do you say? Well, one, sorry, just doing faces, but no one did it as well as her, plus the genetics. Yeah, so I can't be mad at a usually very critical person. I think my keyboard is broken. Dude, why does my slipper keep falling off? The stuff that I keep underneath this bed is mostly like my luggage for when I travel. I just leave the luggage in here. Oh, I think this kind of squeaks around too, huh? So I have to... Ow! I think I have to fix these too. So the whole reason why I'm doing this, chat, is because when I move in my bed, even when I just roll around, it'll make squeaky sounds, which is pretty annoying. And then when I do some other movement in my bed, it also makes squeaky sounds. And I feel as though you know, sometimes some people are trying to sleep, so kind of want to reduce the audio coming from my bedroom. So this is the project that I'm starting. Nikita says, I just sleep on the floor. Makes no sounds whatsoever. Yeah, I wish I could sleep on the floor too. I used to do that. But I keep stuff underneath my bed. Just because I have nowhere else to put it in my room. My room's not that big. So there's two things that I could do. One is get rid of this stuff underneath my bed. Find somewhere else to put it. Not be such a hoarder. Or two, find a way to make it so that this is not noisy. So I elected to do the noisy part. Alright, here we go. So I'm just removing these screws right now, and we are going to lube them up. I don't know if this will work exactly, but as you guys mentioned before, the audio level were maybe around 30 decibels ish, right? So we'll see if this greatly reduces the audio levels or not of my bedroom. We shall see. Put this back. So I'm basically redoing all the screws and lubing them up. My hands are getting oily. I feel like a mechanic. Ugh. I'm a bed mechanic. 30 decibels is a whisper. Oh, is it 30 decibels? Maybe. I think it was because the phone was kind of far, but you guys heard it, right? Too much lube, your bed frame may fall apart the next major earthquake. Okay, that's the least of my worries when there's a major earthquake. I wish I had something easier to screw the shit in. What's the sleep mileage interval for doing oil changes on your bed? Damn. 3,000 miles. You gotta do an oil change. Hey, that was a good joke. Who said that? Probably HIV. That was a good joke. Who do you think you are, a fucking comedian? Somebody banned that guy for telling good jokes. I'm just joking. That was a good joke. Phone apps are sucky. Yeah. I don't have like a real decibel meter thing. You may want to use Loctite instead. Loctite? Oh, is that like a reverse loop? What is it called? Like a adhesive. Reverse loop. Nice. Continuous noise versus peaks is different. Most tools take an average, not a peak. Alright, we're almost. I tried to be scientific about the test, but obviously we are no scientists over here. Loctite is a German brand of adhesives, sealants, and surface treatments. Ah, I see. Chat, how's your guys' Monday? I think I have, what's today? I have 1 week left. I'm trying to figure out what to do on the weekend. I'm going to see if I can try to pump out at least one more podcast before I head back to NorCal. And then I want to see if it's possible if I can record a podcast in NorCal with a NorCal person. That would be pretty good. I think I want to ask Vicurious if he's available. And I want to record a podcast with Vicurious. That'd be cool. I'm an engineer, not a scientist. Me too. I'm also an engineer. Scuffed engineer. Monday's good, about to sell some shoes. Oh, nice. I'll sell some shoes, huh? 3 a.m. Cooling my room. Yeah, 3 a.m.? Where are you? Is that EU time? EU? Everyone's hanging out on the EU? Oh wait, you said 3 a.m. Wait, what part of the world is 3 a.m. on Monday? 3 a.m. probably on your Tuesday? Central EU? So it's Tuesday for you then. Yeah, 3 a.m. I hope you guys are enjoying this bed lubing stream. Hopefully this will be worth it in the end. We shall see. This is what it looks like when I lube it, by the way. I've been lubing it next to my face, but I should show you guys what it looks like. I'm just putting some oil on it. You know, sometimes you gotta oil up your screw so that the insertion can be very pleasurable. But I have heard there are situations where if you put too much lube, it makes it so that it's not good. You want a little bit of friction sometimes. Is anyone gonna bust out any sex jokes? Does anyone know anything about lube? Is anyone experienced with using lube? And can anyone recommend some nice lube? Oh fuck. Yo Vic, what's up? Lubing screws and not using them the right screwdriver will mean going to Home Depot to purchase the right tool to complete the job. I, for one, do not see what John looks like when John shows us how he lubes it. Do not need to see. water-based or silicone-based. I've only been in very few situations where lube would have came in handy. But I didn't have a lube. Because lube is such a situational thing, I feel like. Lube is a very it's very situational jobs. Alright, we have one last corner. But you know, you have lube in those specific situations can be very clutch. You can definitely turn a okay situation into a great situation if you have the situational tools and whatnot. I use white lithium grease on my garage door hinges and regular door hinges. White lithium grease? Interesting. I don't know what kind of lube this is, but this is a kind of yellowish oil, I want to say. We're almost done though. Almost done. We just have to do this middle connector and then this last corner. And then we're going to test it again. We're going to try to recalibrate and then see if this actually did anything. Lube is made in tiny packets like condoms too. Those works? Really? Maybe I should look into that. There might be... So, you think it's good to pack lubrication as well as you know, protection at the same time? Did you buy the lube from a Tin Talk? No, I just found it on Amazon. I just googled like how to make my bed not squeaky, and then this was like the first thing that came up. So this lube that I got, which is called Squeak Scones, it was about $12, I think. I can't stand it in sexual encounters. Too much oil is a massive problem. I've heard that before. Too much oil makes it so that it's not like enjoyable, right? But you need a little bit to make things work. It's like fire. You need a little bit of fire to cook, but if you put too much fire, it's not a good situation. Yo, Joe, what's up? Cheap packets are terrible. Does anyone have experience with the back door? Does anyone have any backdoor delivery experiences that you guys could share? That's the one I'm curious about when it comes to the needing some type of solution for that. Yeah. I've only been in that situation a couple times and it's never been a successful operation. You know, I've only came across the opportunity to experience that less than a handful of times, and in all situations never really panned out being a successful situation. One tiny packet of lube can result in a lot of good times, especially when it's a love, not fun moment, and it can use a bit extra. The female or other partner of your choosing other partner of your choosing should provide the lubrication. Allergies, just saying. Interesting thought. Back can use lube that is more viscous and possibly with relaxants. Relaxants. Has anyone ever tried it before and can attest? Does anyone have any testimonies of the backdoor experiences? The backyard adventure? Adventures in the backyard? By the way, we're not trying to make this like a, you know, TOS or anything like that. This is not meant to be. This is meant to be educational. Okay, I need to mention that just to make sure you guys, you know, if put it on the record. You know, this is an educational reason only. We're not here to talk about this stuff for any agenda. Just educational purposes. Carrot oils, maybe. As a woman, I want to be in control of what goes on or in my body, says Gnomesing. Ow! So, are you a pro lube or like you're not? Maybe you're not like against lube per se, but just like you just kind of want to know what it's about before you get into it. I don't know what the difference between a water or an oil. But I reckon water based is healthier. Right? Because it's easier to clean up. Anti-lube gang, we only use blood. Ew. Fuck. On this last part. And then I'm going to take a broom to this other dust. And then we're going to do a sound test again. Last sound check. Alright, I have 2 screws left. 1 left. And then we're going to see if we can try to tighten the rest of the screws. And hopefully we'll be good for at least however many miles. Who said that joke? Hey, chat, how many miles can I go on this loop before I have to re-oil? Before I have to change my oil, huh? How long do you think I can? Like, how many times can I use this bed before I'll need to consider to re-oil this shit? 69 miles? I really gotta get in there. Good water-based won't leave stains and is good default, but preparation with a bit of silicone base with relaxant and then purpose-made water base of a reputable kind is a great way to go. Uh-huh. Is there any specific brand or something? Like, okay, let's say I went to the store and I was looking for some shit like that. Where would I go? Like, what are the top brands? How do I put this shit in? I can't find the hole. I'm using my foot to squeeze this together. Oh, what? Shit! Ah, come on! She won't stay together. There it is. Okay, okay, okay. Whew. There it is. The holes weren't lining up, so I couldn't put it in. What do you guys think? We don't know if this is even gonna help yet. True. What do you guys think? If it's full synthetic, slow plus always it's a change. Some women or men like to receive. Hot Pajor, for example, there are some convenience store ones like Durex, those are still fine. Gun oil H2O is goat. Try one of those romance stores. The clerks are usually very knowledgeable. I follow this trans guy on TikTok who used to work at a sex store, and his TikTok was pretty interesting because his TikTok had one of those like arcades in the back. By arcade I mean like the theaters, coin op theater. You go into a booth and then you like watch your favorite cinematic films in there by yourself, potentially, right? And so he was doing like a review of these theaters. So basically you go into a booth, you put coins in, and then you select whatever you want to watch. And they have like tissues in there. And on the sides, there are windows that can go up or down. And it's on both sides. So if you wanted to, you can put your window down, right? So you put your window down, and the person next to you has a window too. They can also elect to put their window down. So at that point, both of you can see each other, watching whatever you're watching. That's part of the fun of it, and I thought that was interesting. So there's like this is also on TikTok, and then every once in a while, this person will talk about like, you know, the having safe sex or like using lube and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. Oh, just tightening the screws help. What if you put too much lube when he goes in to test out the bed, just falls apart? That would suck. But these screws are pretty fucking annoying. We're almost there. I wanted to do an IRL stream where I go to one of those, but I feel like I would get banned. Like, okay, if I just hid the nudity and stuff. Oh! Hi, King Cobra with the 7 months in a row. I'm just kidding, I wasn't gonna drink that. Thank you for the 7 months in a row sub. Hi, King Cobra, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the sub. Dr. Phil has received the DNA results, and John, you are the father. Baby stroller. So, since that person was, I think their store closed because that guy doesn't do any videos in that store anymore. But I thought that was just so interesting, and I would totally want to like do an IRL stream in an adult bookstore, adult video store or whatever. But you just have to like be careful of all the nudity and stuff in there. But and all the stuff that's like TOS, but If it's just like the facility and stuff, I think that might be interesting. Okay. Alright. So now, let's do a movement test to see if there's any squeaking going on. So I lubed up all of the screws. I replaced everything. Let's see where the squeaks are. Okay, I didn't replace all of the screws, but I did most of them. There might be some squeaking going on over here. What do you guys think about that? Okay, we gotta figure out that maybe it's this one. I didn't replace these screws. I didn't think I needed to, but let's try it. It's entertainment, so not a good idea for stream regardless, I think. Damn. Just had them design the adult store with a hot tub theme and then Twitch. I wanted to be educational. You know? I think it would be pretty interesting. Because I've never been in one of those before. I've only have experienced it through that TikTok. I didn't even know shit like that existed. That's pretty crazy. And then so what this person would do also is that he would go to the booths with a black light and like black light stuff. And it was hella disgusting. There's like shit everywhere. Not shit, but like there's stains and stuff. It's pretty fucking gross. Okay, let me see if I can get both of these. I wonder what your neighbors are thinking right now, the constant squeaking of the bed. Yeah, I'm curious too. Maybe they're used to it. I don't know. I don't even know who lives downstairs underneath me. I don't know. I've never seen the person who lives down there. Get a can of Flex Seal and spray the joints and connections with the rubber sealant. Wrap the end of the slats with Gorilla Tape. I had a bad experience at an adult store. Haven't been back since. Do you mind sharing your bad experience? Oh fuck, I have to take this thing off. Is it like a really bad experience? If it's like a really bad experience, like traumatic, then you don't have to if you don't want to, but I don't mean to trigger people. If you guys have any triggers when it comes to the stuff I'm talking about, I apologize. I don't mean to activate anyone's trigger. Alright, I have to take this one off again. So basically what I want to do is, I didn't realize I have to do this. I was trying to avoid taking out like every screw. There are 4 screws per corner, but I thought one side is not really gonna make any noise, but apparently there's still a little bit of squeakiness. So. But once I get these out, I think we can finalize this. There it is. Okay. Oh! We went there to get a Christmas gift gag for a coworker, and the lady behind the counter kept asking me to try a product. She said, "Put it on your lips, and that is how it will feel in your woman area." I kept saying no, and she was really pushy. The way she was looking at me was in a creepy way. Ew. Okay, I see what you mean. That is kind of weird. So that's how it will feel in your woman area. Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, but maybe I should not ask the question. I understand what you're saying. I was gonna ask for a little clarification, but it's cool. I get it. Jesus. That's kind of weird. Pushy salesman. I'll tell you a story of when I was in Japan one time. So in Japan, prostitution is technically illegal, but there's a lot of gangsters and gangs and stuff that still sell escorts somehow, because I don't know, the illegal business is very booming in Japan. Anyways, so I was walking through Shinjuku, and we went through the Kabukicho area, which is where these guys were standing outside, right? And it was me and my friends, and we were walking through, and this one guy goes, like, he starts saying in English, he was like, sex, 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 right? And then so he goes to me and he's like, sex, right? And I was like, with you, man? No, I'm okay. I'm not gay. And then he was like, pretty Japanese girl. Very beautiful Japanese girl. Oh, you know, that also happened to me in Korea, too. I was in this shady area next to the station of where I was living at, right? So I was basically living in the countryside, but the station has like where it's more city-like, and then it's probably like a 20-minute drive from the station to where I was living. And right next to the station, there's like this shady area where I guess it's like a brothel or something like that. And for whatever reason in Japan, in Korea, the brothels are owned by like old Korean women, like in their 50s or 60s or something. And so they would say in Korean, they would be like, hey, come by. We have very beautiful and thin women, right? And then so this older Ajuma Korean lady, she went up to me, and because I was walking by, it was nearby the station, right? Trying to get me to go to her brothel. She grabbed me by the arm, and she was like, "Hey, man." She said it in Korean, but she was like, "Oh, very pretty, beautiful woman, great body, and young." And I was like, "No, I'm okay. In Korean, I was like, "I'm okay." And she's like, "No, it's not okay." And then she like tried to grab me to go. She's like, "It's not okay." She grabbed me and she hella tried to make me go. And I had to like pull my arm out of her hands and like walk past her. It's not okay. You're gonna enjoy this beautiful lady, whether you like it or not. Anyways, that's my experience at those places. Ooh, ah. Sex with Tenga, $100 an hour. Escorting is legal in the UK too. I wonder if the metal one will be silent. Yeah, we'll see. said it'll make it tingle. Hey, I want to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think about this? This is a kind of a debate topic, and let's not get too heated, but recently around here there's a Korean spa called the Wee Spa. You can Google this. It happened recently. So what happened was there's this trans woman who is like pre-op, right? She still has her wiener, and she attended the spa. And how the spa works, that there's like a public bath area where basically everyone gets naked and they get into like the hot tubs, right? And so there's like a female area and there's a men's area, and this person who is trans, they identified as a female, but they still had a wiener. So she went into the women's section and disrobed, right? Whoa! Shit got hell loud. An accident. And so there was a person who was complaining because their daughters and stuff were in there, with little kids, right? And so it was like, oh, it was just this guy who showed off his penis and to my children, like, so she complained, and the staff were like, well, that person is identified as a woman, so like they're trans, so they're allowed to be in the women's section. And so basically what happened was there was a protest that happened, and there was an Antifa, and there was like a fight broke out and stuff like that. People who are trying to defend transgender people and people who are wanting to protect their children against people like that who may potentially be like pedophiles or whatever. So it was interesting. Anyways, that place is under fire right now. Let's ask the important question. Did she have booba? I have no idea. But there was like video that surfaced of like the staff members saying like yeah, we can't do anything because that person identifies as a woman. Cook Sex was talking about it. Wasn't there a protest? Yeah, there was a protest. It was a big deal too. It was like a fight broke out and shit. And they had the police come in and whatnot. She should still have public decency even when identifying. I think I agree, yeah. But I think the thought that I had, hey, Assassin Ninja 23, thank you for the follow. I think the thought that I had was that it's in our very American, I feel like it's a very Western and American culture to be very like anti-nudity in body and stuff like that, and like fetishize nudity, because this was a thing that I learned when I was young, is that in some countries like France, even though the movies have nudity and stuff and maybe some sex, it's still like PG-13. But in France, violent movies are rated R, or whatever the equivalent of rated R is. However, here in the US, it's the opposite. Like, we can have PG-13 violent movies because our values are like, we're more pro-violence and anti-nudity and sex, whereas in France, they are anti-violence and they're pro-sexual, you know? So I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you guys think that that's like a cultural difference? True. Sweden, Finland, and saunas are normal. People know they will look, so they value youth, and they see the other gender, so they are not drawn by blind lust. Yeah, so I think it's like, in our culture, we are very hypersexualized or something like that. Whereas in European countries like France and stuff, like sex is so an open thing. And you know, like the drinking age is lower than over here too, because it's in their culture to drink wine or whatever. So in my opinion, I was like, man, if our cultures were just like not so hypersexualized, maybe this wouldn't be that big of a deal. Australia is the same way about portrayal of drugs, sex, or violence, though. Do they have like the opposite where they are sensitive about something? So in France and stuff, like violent movies are kind of sensitive. Anyone drinking in use is actually the cause of car accidents, but also beneficial for the health of the young. I have 69 viewers? Really? That I'm talking about these, like, I'm basically lubing my bed. U.S. had a 6 relationship with drinking before those laws. It's cultural. Ugh. Interesting, right? Hey, I have a question. For those of you who are in the EU, how is like trans rights and stuff being handled in the EU? Are like, is trans people still kind of? I heard, you know, like countries like France, or not France, countries like Spain and stuff, like being trans is still like a super taboo, right? But that country is very Catholic, so I can see why. Trying to make the neighbors don't hear the from your bedroom. Yeah, basically. I'm lubing up my bed. Trying to make my bed a little bit more quiet. My bedroom more quiet. So that my downstairs neighbors don't know what's going on. Especially since most of the sound comes in during the most sensitive time of the day. This is a very adult stream. You gotta be in the city to be trans, basically, or secluded. A lot of people move post-transitions. What do you mean, how it's handled? Trans females are allowed to use female toilets and vice versa? I mean, like, how is it in, like, the public, basically? Is it, like, accepted in the UK more so than here? Because here, there's, like, a huge trans movement where they're trying to, like, it's, like, really big trans movement. Where's the... Okay, but I don't know how it is in the UK where, like, if the movement is as big or not, you know, or if it's still like super taboo. I mean, it's still kind of taboo here, but we have a movement going on. Am I missing one? I'm missing one screw. Hopefully this doesn't really fuck shit up. Okay, we're gonna put this back. And one more screw. We're gonna lube this bad boy. Oh, it already has lube? Alright. And now we just gotta tighten up these last screws. We'll go these two first, and then we'll go back on that one. I'm in a formerly Catholic country, but today one of the most atheists in the world. But the views here change with generations only because communism and people grounded beliefs. My OCD is going crazy because all the labels off the foot protectors except this one. Oh, yeah, because they sell it in a pack. They sell it in a pack, and they only need one label. There you go, I took it off. Real Akumas has never understood the drinking age. Why can you be drafted at 18 and be armed with a full automatic rifle, but cannot have an IPA? That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, why is that? In most countries, it's 20. Okay, if we're gonna talk about that, Real Akuma, what do you guys think? Should we decrease the drinking age, or should we increase the enlisting age? What do you guys think about that? Should we make them the same? Maybe we should normalize it so that they're both at 20. Let's reduce American drinking age to be more in line with the rest of the world, which is like at 20. Some countries are, I think, 18 or 19. But if we reduced it by 1, and then we increased the enlisting age to 20, so that it makes sense, that will be more in line. I think that might be reasonable, maybe. Is it CBD oil? No, it's just lube. No one cares. There's a reason why you see Russians and their countries some Vietnamese. Great for noise. I don't know about other European countries, but in the UK we have gender equality policy where their sex is one of the protected characteristics in the Act. We have that too. Are you prepping your bed for some action? Basically, yeah. You never know what might happen, dude. In the UK, you can have alcohol from 15 if you're having a meal, but to buy alcohol yourself, you need to be 18. Increasing the enlistment age. Match it for the enlisting age equals 18 for the USA. Yaw rate sensor. Sup to John SF. What's up, yaw rate sensor? Biologically, there should be no issue enlisting at 21. I think the idea is that if we had a lower age to enlist, we would have more people to be in the army, right? And if you have more people in your army, that means your army is stronger. So the younger you can enlist people, the more people you can have in the army. But maybe on the same tip, the younger you're able to have people drink, you'll also have more people getting into car accidents or something like that. But I kind of do agree that all those things kind of should be standardized. I agree with that. I'd also kind of wish that the drinking time in California, the end of sale of alcohol, I wish would be 4 a.m. That would be better. Kids would still binge drink. U.S. doesn't have a culture of kids waiting to drink properly with families. That's true. Alright, we're almost done. Okay. We're almost done. We're on the last leg. Buttocks. I just gotta screw that last part in. And then let's see how much squeakiness we have saved ourselves from. Anyways, interesting talking points that we had today. While I set up this bed. What time is it? 6:30? Okay, good. I have to kind of wrap this up soon because at around 7 o'clock I am going to go exercise. So, well, I have to go exercise. So I'm trying to finish this up in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to screw everything back in, and then we're going to do a post lube sound test. John, we doing an IKEA stream tomorrow for a new bed? No, I'm not gonna get a new bed. I can't afford to get a new bed. I kind of do want to get new bed sheets though. Maybe I'll get new bed sheets. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Woo. Okay, let's see how much of a difference this made oiling up these screws. I'm gonna do sound test now. I'm gonna move it around. Let's see what happens. Oh! 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 Okay, we did a combination of tightening the screws and oiling them. Let me wash my hands really quick and I'm gonna record a TikTok of me moving it. My hands became really oily and dirty. Wow! Oilers, yeah. Literal oilers. Now he finds out it was the wood bits. Oh, that would suck. If it's the wood bits. If you don't have a screamer, bed noise won't matter. That's not true because... Okay, screaming is like... You can mitigate that by, you know, just like, hey, don't scream, or like, you know, shh, you know. But this is like, you can't tell a bed to like, you know? And also, the sound travels physically through the ground. So, vocal sounds will bounce off of the ground and doesn't really travel through the ground, whereas this is actually touching the floor, will go through the ceiling downstairs. That is not actually true. But actually, the sound has changed a lot. So let me see. I'm gonna record a TikTok. Okay. Whoops. Let's record a TikTok. Alright, so I lubed all the screws and even the joints in between. And this is what it sounds like right now. Here we go. This is a sound test. Oh, but my phone died. My phone turned off. Fuck. Right when I was recording the TikTok. Oh, fuck. Damn it. I wonder if that video was saved. My phone died right when I was recording the TikTok, right before I was gonna do the sound test. 1%. Damn it. Okay. Alright, we'll wait for that to turn back on. Oops. Geez, John. Ball and gag is more romantic. Is it really? I think choking is more romantic. Sex in the kitchen in the other places is more interesting. My kitchen is disgusting. And also there's a window in the kitchen. It's that goes towards the entrances of the other apartments. So like I have a window here, but the window faces the outside. Whereas the one in the kitchen faces other apartments. So anyone walking through could obviously hear. Do a test with the wood in place in the mattress. Yeah, we'll do that. Imagine sex while also using the air fryer. Hey, what is the obsession with like people having sex with food involved? I always feel like that's like a thing. There's like people try to foodify sexual activity. You know? Like having a G-string with candy or something like that. It's so weird. Let me, while this is gone, let me broom some shit up. Sex and chicken. Why does your room look like a shoe store? Because there are many shoes in here. Similar to how shoe stores have a lot of shoes. I bought a lot of shoes. Anyone lose an earring at Cook's Airbnb? Cook's Airbnb. Try to dust off some of this dirt that has been piling up onto here. Nice. All right. Let's put the slats back on. Watch his VOD from yesterday. He had Airbnb. Talking of Airbnb, there is an epidemic of hidden cameras, especially in some countries. That's fucked up, dude. Hidden cameras? That shit's spooky, dude. There was this whole thing that happened in Korea about like Korean guys who would like secretly record them hooking up with girls. And like, yeah, the sex was consensual, but it wasn't consensual for them to like record them and stuff. That's kind of scary. I once hooked up with a girl, and she asked me if I was gonna record us. And I was like, dude, I do not want any evidence of us hooking up ever. Hell no. Of me hooking up with anyone. And she was like, okay. I didn't know if she wanted to. I couldn't tell if she wanted to or not. She was like, are you gonna record us? Oh, fuck. Sorry about that. I was like, do you want to record? I'm not trying to have evidence. Korea is the worst one. Yeah, I've heard. I hope there's no evidence of me. What if a girl recorded me secretly? Or a hidden camera? That would be pretty bad. Oh, are these two different pieces? These are two different pieces.
So move up until then. And yeah, I'll be 420.
Some people like to record Tinder hookup. I'll be like, you want to record? I want to get paid. Yeah, right. Did you guys hear about that scandal of those like Korean celebrities who had this like they had like a chat room of these Korean celebrities, and you know they're celebrities, right? So they can hook up with like any girl. They're fucking celebrities. So they would hook up with girls, and then they would record them having sex with each other, with their girls, and then they would share their videos together. This was like a scandal that happened in Korea. It was a really big deal because all these women like came forward about it. And then so, to me, I just thought it was weird to have like a chat room with your friends of your sex tapes. That's so fucking weird. Like, hey man, want to check out my new sex tape, dude? That's gross, right? Like, dude, you're my friend. I'm not trying to see your dick. That's weird. Like, seeing a guy's dick that you don't know, it's not a big deal. But seeing the dick of someone and then like you know them personally and intimately, that's pretty weird. First time to see Velcro slats. Yeah, it is kind of interesting, right? So these slats, they have Velcro on the ends, and then some of the slats have like a adhesive tape on the side too. So when you put the bed on there, it doesn't move around. Okay, let's test this. Let's test this shit. Can this thing... How much battery do I have now? Phone is starting. I have about 7%. Let's wait till we get 10% and I want to record. I work in the sex industry. It's more about being paid and being STD free. You have no idea how expensive equipment the best guys sweeping hotels etc. have. Time is money, so equipment is the best of best. What equipment are you talking about? Sweeping? Sweeping hotels? What are we talking about? Cleaning hotels? Like cleaning equipment? What equipment are we talking about here? Okay. Let's see. Alright, let's test this. So I lubed and I put back all the screws, also tightened them really hard and put back the slats. So this is a post lube squeak test. Oh. Not bad. Okay, let's put the bed back on and see what it's like. Okay. Alright, let me put on the mattress and then we'll go back in it. The same test that we did with the microphone and all that other shit. Put everything back. Well, why is this crooked? Now. Imagine if hotels started adopting CCTV in your hotel room. Damn. Like against spy stuff. I once hooked up with a girl in a karaoke room before, but I was afraid to do anything like too risque because I figured they would have cameras inside all the rooms. Alright, let's put the mattress back on. Alright, if I put the mattress on too early, it's going to be harder to slide it because of the adhesive that's on some of the slats. So I'm going to see if I could try to throw it on there. Oh yeah, actually that was a lot easier than I thought.
In the early 90s, with an euphoric celebration of the new era. In Berlin, Frankfurt, and in many other cities in Germany, the campaigns craft a new music and club culture around the coordinates techno and house. We call it techno tells of the evolving phase of the first pop culture that primarily...
Nice! Where's the chat?
At the beginning of the 80s, long before techno was spoken of as it is today, a small scene exists in Frankfurt that already refers to its music as techno. Famous record salesman Toller 2
Jesus.
XLC who first comes up with the term, and who will later also play a central role as organizer, DJ, and producer.
Alright, chat, are you guys ready to test this shit out?
Anfang der 80er habe ich nach meinem
Yo, XO Sig, what's up? And Cold Beers, what's up? So, if you guys are just joining now, basically what I've done is I took apart my bed and I pulled out all of the screws of the frame and I lubed the screws and the joints with this lube called Squeak Be Gone. And this is all in an effort to make my bed less squeaky. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up a microphone. I'm going to put the microphone on top of my bed. This is the microphone in question. And we are going to measure the sound decibel difference between the 3 tests that we did, which was 4 tests. One was the rolling test. The second one was the north-south, east-west vertical test, and the last one is the horizontal up and down test. Why do you want less squeaks? So as to not bother my downstairs neighbors or upstairs neighbors. I think it bothers the downstairs neighbors more than the upstairs neighbors. So in order to reduce the amount of noise going on, I'm going to turn off the air conditioning and I'm going to plug in this microphone. Plug in the microphone first. Okay. Alright, I'm on the bed. So now, let me pull up my stream so I can hear the sound. Can you guys hear, chat? And then I'm going to bring up the decibel meter over here. So I don't know if you guys could see this, but there's a little sound meter right here. And when we were doing the first test, they were roughly between 40 and 60 decibels. Hold on, does this sound pretty good? Hold on, I have the microphone here. You can hear it right here, right? Test 1, 2, test. Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. So this microphone. Oh, who's that? Jenny Just Rocks rated with 24. Thank you for the raid, Jenny Just Rocks. What's up? Welcome to the stream, everyone. This is twitch.tv/JohnSF. I am going to show you guys, everyone coming in from Jenny's raid. I'm going to... okay, let me explain what I did. Basically, my bed was too squeaky. So what I did was, I added this Squeak's Gone lubricant to all the screws and joints of my bed frame. And I just put the bed back together. We are going to do a sound test again to see if the lubricant has made my best bed less squeaky. And I also have a microphone pointed down towards the bed for scientific reasons. Scientifically research. And there's a meter here. So anyways, welcome everyone to the stream. Are you guys ready? Just in time. We're going to commence the first test, which is the rolling test. Here we go. Commencing rolling test. Oh! Did you guys hear any squeaks? Alright, concluding rolling test. How was it? How was it? How was it? No squeaks. Holy shit. Okay. Test number 2. North-south lateral movement. Commencing test now. Alright, making the power higher. Raising power levels. More vigorous squeaking. Oh, I'm tired. Thank you for the follow. Whoever that was. Any squeaking? There's just like little squeaking, right? Lots of squeaking? It wasn't that squeaky. Okay, hold on. Let me try. It wasn't that squeaky compared to the first time. All right, let me try again. North, south, take 2. There's still squeakiness, but it's not as bad as it was before. Okay, not bad. All right, test number 3 is the east-west movement. Okay, commencing east-west movement test. Here we go. Not too bad. I mean, yeah, there's still... I mean, you're not going to remove 100% of the squeaks. All right, concluding test number 3. How is it? How is it? That part of the noise is banging, not squeaking? Yeah, right. You're not going to get rid of it all. Okay. And then the very last test is the horizontal bouncing movement. And this is the most important one, because this is the noisiest. Alright, guys? Commencing horizontal bouncing test. Oh, jeez. You guys can hear it like my upstairs neighbors. They're like rolling around some things. Okay, here goes. Commencing up and down test right now. Not bad. All right, concluding test. Oh, chat, how was it? How was it? Was it good? How was it? Where is Why were you punching the bed? I don't know. Just to see if I can make any squeaking. Dude, the squeaking has like dramatically reduced. The squeaking has dramatically reduced. Dramatic. It's crazy. Wow. Dramatically reduced. It's crazy how little the squeaking was. I'm very impressed, actually. I'm very impressed. All right, let me do this for TikTok. I'll do one more thing. Let me record myself. Okay. All right, I'm actually on the bed right now, and we're gonna see how much the squeaking has reduced. So here it is. I have the meter right here. Let's bounce it. Pretty good, right? Not a lot of squeaking. Good job. Okay. Whew. That was for the TikTok. Good shit. I hope that came out pretty well. I'm gonna post that TikTok later. Forward thrust. It was pretty good, right? How was it? All right, can you guys tell me your guys' opinion based off of what you guys saw from the pre-lube test, sound test, and now that we've done a before and after, is it like a obvious reduction in squeaking for you guys? Because definitely for me, experiencing it first person, 100% like. Maybe not 100%. There is like a probably 70 to 80% reduction in the squeaking. Of course, you're not going to reduce all of the squeaking, but for sure, yes. I give you amateur status. Your performance improved with lube. Couldn't hear you from the other room. Based on what I saw, I will not be having sexy time with John. That wasn't me trying to do any sexual movements or anything. That was me testing the squeakiness of this bed, which I will do a little bit more. Okay. Okay, there's still a little bit of squeakiness, but I doubt that we'll be able to remove 100% of the squeaky sound, but for sure, like, a lot of it reduced. A lot of it reduced. Whew! I'm happy. Good shit. I don't think anyone got pregnant. You should ask your downstairs neighbor. That's kind of weird. Which position do you enjoy the most? Downward dog. I think we need a real life test with Cam and Mike. You'll never be squeak free. Yeah, it's impossible to be squeak free, but I think this was a pretty good test. So guys, if you guys have a squeak issue like I did, check out Squeak's Gone. This is like $12 to $14 on Amazon. I'll put this in my affiliate links. I need to put this in my affiliate links. Guys, don't buy this yet until I provide the link. Don't buy this yet, because I can get a couple bucks if you guys buy this. Anyways, if you guys ever consider buying shit like that, buy it through my link, please. Ask if your neighbor if you can install a microphone in his bedroom for science. Do you like the Reserve Cowboy and being on top? What is that? Reserve Cowboy? I'm not a huge fan of being on top. I'm the power bottom. Do you have a basketball pump? No. I don't. To reduce by 100%, there's an easy fix. Just throw out the frame. Yeah, and just do it on the floor. That's true, yeah. So, okay, actually, I mentioned this earlier, but the bed frame that I'm sitting on right now came with another mattress because the lady that I bought it from was moving back to her home state and she just needed to get rid of the furniture that was in the apartment. So she sold me, I just needed the bed frame, but she gave me the mattress for free on top of it. That mattress actually exists in my living room, and I put it behind the DJ setup to kind of damper the audio so that it's not loud on the outside. It's a kind of scuffed soundproofing, right? However, occasionally, if things do go down, I resort to that bed and I put it on the ground. Occasionally. It's very rare that that happens. It's a very situational issue. And also guests sleep on that bed sometimes. So, yeah. You don't have a headboard? I don't like headboards. Headboards are fucking useless. They just like... You just hit your head on the headboard. And then the headboards also fucking bang against the wall and shit. Headboards are so whack. Fuck it, headboards. Oh shit, you do need a headboard? I don't like headboards. In the heat of the moment, do you have to drag the bed out from behind the DJ setup? No, I kind of like preemptively prepare. I have it on deck in case. Niziu with you fan club. What's up? Dermes bien, très bien. Bonjour. Je suis Jean. Make note, chat. If we see the sound, baffling measures. Do you even know how to DJ? No. What if you are about to get down and she asked to hear your Skrillex remix? A headboard gives supports to your bed, but most importantly, it protects your wall against abrasion. I don't like headboards. Okay, chat. I have to get out of here because I'm gonna go exercise, and I have a run at 7:30. So let me put some shoes on and stuff. Let me get ready. I'll still stream until I'm ready to get out of here. I'm gonna change to some running shorts, and I'm gonna put some socks and some running shoes on. I haven't ran all of last week, and this thing's running out of battery too, as well as this one. I went to Anime Matsuri. I heard that shit sucked on TikTok. People were making complaint videos on TikTok about Anime Matsuri. Alright, let me unplug the microphone. Success. It's not often that we have a successful operation here on twitch.tv/JohnSF. We often fail, but today I'd say we passed with flying colors. Hell yeah. Let me grab some socks and some shorts. Running shorts and some socks. Are these matching socks? Here we go. I have an autographed t-shirt from Shibuya Kaho. Damn! Shibuya Kaho, hell yeah! I'm a fan. I'm a Shibuya Kaho fan. I wish I could be like Japan D. Jones and stream with her. That would be tight. I'm curious how Shibuya Kaho's English is so good. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera out here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to change out of my shorts. Let's put the camera right here. She went to school here, really? I didn't know that. Is there a Whataburger in LA? No, there isn't. But I really want to try one. I heard so many good things about Whataburger. Okay, let me put some shorts on. Look at how short these shorts are. These are 5 inches. What? Gin pie with the sun.
Yo, let's love go T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T T A T T T tet tet T T T T T T T T T T Z's.
Thank you, Jim Pie, for the sub. Very much appreciated. Let me put some shoes on. These are my running shoes. These are the Nike Free Run something. Free Run 5 Plus, I believe. I can't remember exactly what these are. But these are going to be the running shoes I'm using for today. And I think that's it for me today, chat. I am going to raid off to someone, and then I'm going to go run my usual Monday 3 miles. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, chat. I very much appreciate your guys' time and patronage, as well as all your subs. Shout out to Jin, who is also an IRL streamer and rapper. Cool guy. Thanks for him for the subs. Let me give a shout out to Jin. Senpai. Poor John only has 1 parachute. Where John showing us 5 inches. Not impressed. Thanks for hanging out today, chat. I'm gonna send you guys off to Joey? Not Joey. Send you guys off to no one's streaming? Stinky Carnival? Ooze Brood. Let's go to Ooze Brood or Maka Waka. Maybe we'll go to Ooze Brood because I rated Maka Waka before. Alright, let's go over to Ooze Brood. 10 kilometers, John? Damn. It's too much. Where's the raid button? Raid channel. Here it is. Ooze Brood. Okay, start the raid. Alright, bye guys. Thanks for helping me with the squeaky bed, and I'm gonna go exercise now. 5-kilometer run today on Mondays, and I'll see you guys next time. Probably no stream tomorrow, but I will most likely do a stream on Wednesday, and I have some cool shit to show you guys on Wednesday. Okay, guys? Have a good one. Bye. See you guys later.